Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying and to your Thursday dose of rallying chit chat. We have a new rally car on the horizon, which is always exciting, though I suspect not everyone is going to be a fan. So this week Opel have unveiled their Mokka GSE Rally. It is the first car developed to the FIA's E-Rally 5 regulations. It will make its debut this weekend at the ELE Rally Eindhoven. That's May 23rd and 24th. Not competitively, but it will be there and I think it will do some running. Now, whatever you think of electricity in rally cars, and we will come to that, Opel have obviously been leading the way in this respect. The ADAC Opel Electric Rally Cup is in its 5th season this year, where that's using the electric Corsa. So this new Mokka is a continuation of that, and Opel are pitching it as kind of a vision into the future of electric rallying. It is a much faster car, however, than the Corsa. The Corsa is about 130 horsepower, and this Mokka is reported to be more like 280 horsepower, I think with about 345 Newton meters of torque, so a significant step up, which is apparently going to bring it more in line with the performance of a Rally 4 car. They have also gone all in with the styling on this one, so as you can see from the pictures, it has a very strong launch livery. There's yellow brake calipers, which seems a bit weird on a rally car, doesn't it? They're not usually any particular colour. The rear wheels are yellow, and there is big lettering on the side of it saying OMG GSE. If you're old, that means oh my god GSE. I suspect that is something to do with being down with the kids. No comment, I'll let you comment on that one. Beyond that leery colour scheme, as I said, Opel are expecting this to be a much faster car than the electric Corsa, so it's got a big jump in performance, and it's going to be interesting to see, isn't it, how it compares with a Rally 4 car. We do not have too many technical details at the moment, so there is an electric motor obviously doing the driving. There is I'm reading this, there is a 54 kilowatt hour battery, in case you're interested in that. There is no mention of range. That battery, however, is protected by some additional guards and things. Obviously, there is other things that they have mentioned, even though we haven't got a full rundown. So there are Bilstein dampers, stronger drive shafts. So it's very much in the vein of a kind of Rally 4, Rally 5 car in that respect. You've got a modified rear beam. I think the most interesting thing that's been mentioned technically, but not yet fully explained, is it apparently has a racing gearbox. Now, I don't really know what that means, because most EVs tend to be single speed, so it's going to be interesting to see if that just means they've put a strengthened version of the original transmission, or they've tried to find a way to incorporate some kind of multi-speed transmission to give a bit more driver interaction, which would be a useful thing, wouldn't it? I think, you know, if you're going to start in a car like this and move up through the Rally 4 3-2-1 type ranks, then you're going to want to be used to having some kind of transmission, so maybe they've done that. Obviously, in typical rally car style, things like ABS and ESP and all of that kind of thing have been removed, but otherwise we don't really know too much about the technical details. Hopefully we'll get a bit more about that in the future. However, I think we have to come on to the thorny subject of its very nature, by it being electric, and I know some of you are going to watch this. In fact, some of you have probably stopped watching this, such as your dislike of electric cars, and I get it. I think I'm a bit torn about this, to be honest. I think for me, internal combustion will always be a significant part of my love for cars. I love engines, I love the noise, I love all of that side of it, and I hope that unless the rules prevent it, I will always have some kind of internal combustion car in my life. But I think we also have to acknowledge the fact that there is this almost unstoppable train now, isn't there? You know, EVs are here, they're not going anywhere. They are going to make up a significant part of the automotive landscape in the future, so I think we have to prepare ourselves for that. And as I've said to a few people when I've been challenged about the whole EV thing, is ultimately if we go that way, if EV takes over completely, and I had a choice between an electric rally car and no rally car at all, I would choose an electric rally car. So I think, you know, we have to accept that this stuff is coming. I don't think it's going to fully take over in WRC anytime soon, and I think I even have my doubts about the rapidity of the changeover for road cars. I think electric cars will grow and grow and grow, but I think internal combustion might stay around for a little bit longer than a lot of people think it will. But you know, it's here, isn't it? And I think it is, I will say this, it is interesting and it is positive that manufacturers are looking at it and trying to find ways to make it faster and more interesting. So I think, you know, Opel and Stellantis should be congratulated for that. You know, the fact that they've put this car out there, and obviously they've had the Corsa out there for a few years, you know, that is a positive. You know, if we look at the WRC tried hybrid probably about 10 years too late, and it didn't really work, you know, and I think they're a million miles away from having anything fully electric. So, you know, at least Opel are trying, you know, at least they're having a go. And I think the Corsa series has worked quite well as a means of kind of bringing people on and helping to develop young drivers. And, you know, it might not be the fastest car out there, that Corsa, but it is another means for young drivers in Europe to get a foot on the ladder, isn't it? So I think there are positives. I know a lot of you won't like it. I think it's going to be really interesting as well to see the claims that this car is as fast as a Rally 4 car. You know, a Rally 4 car is typically about 210-ish horsepower. This is 280, so obviously it's a lot more power, but that obviously means it's probably going to be a lot heavier. I had a quick look online, and I think a standard Mokka is about 1,500 kilos, just over. So obviously, again, it's going to be interesting to see how much this new car weighs when Opel publish those figures. But yeah, I think for me, I'm not going to say that I adore electric cars and certainly not adore electric rally cars, but I do have an interest in seeing how they compare and seeing what happens. And as I say, I think we have to be realistic. You know, there is going to come a point where these cars are more common, and we have to either accept it or just be grumpy and not have any rallying at all potentially. So that is my view on it. One other thing I do just want to touch on is I thought it was worthy of mention that they have decided to base this project on the Mokka and not on the Corsa. I'm not sure how much longer this generation of Corsa will be with us. Obviously, it shares its platform with the Peugeot 208, which is what I am sitting in right now. And it's been around since, what, 2019, hasn't it? So I guess that is due for replacement at some point. And obviously, we don't know the direction that they will go with that, because we have this ever looming crossover thing, don't we? So I think, you know, the fact that Opel have based this car on the Mokka, which is a crossover, you know, is that a sign of the direction of travel? Will the next generation of Rally 4 cars from the Stellantis stable go down that path? I don't know. But, you know, it's another statement, isn't it? And I think in going forward, we probably are going to see more crossover type rally cars, because the number of hatchbacks is in decline, sadly, even though there's a lot of small cars out there. I've said this before, if you look beyond Europe and look to the east, to China and places, there are still a lot of small cars out there. But obviously in Europe, the trend is very much towards crossovers. So, you know, I guess for Opel, this aligns with their marketing and the products that they're probably trying to push. So there's sense to it there, but again, it's going to be interesting to see how that comparison works in terms of Rally 4 cars and other Rally 5 cars, or whatever direction this ends up in competitively, and how it shapes up. You know, is there excessive body roll because it's a bit taller? Is there excessive tyre wear because it's a bit heavier? So going to be interesting to see what happens there. However, I am going to stop talking at this point, because I think it is time that I let you have a go. As I said, I suspect many of the comments about this one are not going to be positive, but I am interested to hear what you have to say. I was thinking about this. I think the comments, reacting to your comments and hearing your comments, is probably my favourite thing about doing this, and I would rather lots of you were commenting than having lots of views. I think, you know, having lots of comments is far more interesting than having lots of views. So thank you to everyone that engages with these videos. I do very much appreciate it. Otherwise, I am going to leave it there. As always, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you again next time.